What is going on, everyone? This is the North Shore 9 Postgame Show. Pirates win a baseball game, 7-4. Or maybe we should say the Mets lost a baseball game tonight.
I think Andy Haynes is tonight's winner. 10 walks, hit by pitch, pass ball. I mean, this is proof that if you don't swing, good things can still happen. So it's a win. We don't get enough wins to just kind of take them granted, and we certainly give enough away that the way the Mets did today. That I'm going to take it. No complaints. It's a win. We have the same exact record as the Mets now.
Yeah.
And had you told any of us that at the beginning of the season, we'd have been very happy.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be a half game above the Cardinals and the same record as the Mets in mid-August. How does that feel? No, and it was a really frustrating game until about the seventh inning.
The seventh inning didn't even feel good, really.
No.
Right? It was. Henry Davis strikes out, and Brian Hayes gets a triple, but I don't know. That seemed like a single and an error to me. Jason DeLay gets a double. But it was. This was not an offensive explosion. Like you said, this was the Mets imploding. No. I'll take the win, and I'm not going to complain about the win, but I don't feel terrific about the Pirates' offensive production tonight.
No, you don't really feel good after a game like that. Like you take the money and run,
right.
But 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. It's great that we had that many runners in scoring position, but you really just feel like this coach. Really, we should have won this game by 10 runs.
Right, and it's back to the discussion you and I often have. We need guys that can hit the ball over the fence because. We had guys all over the base pass, mostly by walks, but and just couldn't do anything. We barely moved them over, let alone get them in. So
yeah. Well, I guess we can start with the offense there. I think that makes sense. And since we're talking about home runs, we can talk about Liover Peguero, who is the man with the stat line that makes absolutely no sense. Another home run today. That's his 5th or 6th on the season.
Fifth home run.
OPS still over 800, 832.
832, yeah.
Thoughts on Peguero?
I want him to keep playing. This is not really. He strikes out too much, but he's fielding his position better than was advertised, I suppose. And I guess he steps right into the Castro role, right? We see this athleticism. It's just a beautiful, easy swing, and the ball just jumps off the bat when he makes contact. Way too early to proclaim anything. But if I were forced to say who's starting second base next year, or if I was forced to choose today, I would choose Peguero at this point. I hope things happen that convince me further that that's the case, but he's the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, and it's only been 71 at bats, but you have to think that out of the log jam that we've had at the middle infield, he's the one who's taken a real hold of it. He's the guy who's he is going to be the opening second-day baseman when Cruz comes back because he's the only one who's performing. And the strikeouts might be a problem. I think that's an entirely fair criticism to have. But I think something that he has over all the other guys is you can just see the tools. You can see the power, you can see the speed, and even the defense. Like in Double A, I watched a lot of him because he came to like my home city a lot. Like he just had the yips.
Yeah.
He could not throw a baseball properly. And so I think, I think he has a place on this team long term. But he really needs to figure out the approach. Like he can't be striking out as often as he does.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not sustainable. Like I said, the power is, to borrow a word from Donato, intriguing. Right. I mean, really, the only definitive thing I feel like I can say about him is like, I want to see him out there every day. Playing shortstop and second until Cruz comes back. When Cruz comes back, and it's just like you said, if of the litany of players that we've run out there, he has grabbed hold tighter than anybody else has, right? Everybody else moments, everybody else had, but they didn't stay there for 70 at bats, right? They'd have a good game here or there. But since he initially came up and looked awful those first couple games, settled in kind of nicely. I mean, his OPS is 832. Again, it's, the small sample size is what we almost always deal in here anyway, because nobody plays enough to have a large sample size, or at least doesn't have success in a large sample size.
I think something that he does need to work on is like 51. He's hitting the ball on the grounders 50% of the time. He needs to start elevating the ball more, because like when he does elevate, it's a pretty sight to see. But I think it's also just restricting his, hitting the ball on the ground too much is going to restrict your value as a hitter.
No, absolutely. In today's baseball, they position too well.
Yeah, and so
they're too good at it.
Peguero, he's definitely not set in stone by any stretch of the imagination, but like he really does, like just by eye tests, not even going by numbers, he looks head and shoulders above pretty much anyone else we've thrown out there this season.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, I would say to this point, it's really not even close. And Bay had a little flashes, but I mean, that's all he had was flashes. He never had any consistency. He did some spectacular stuff, but it even seemed more of that was in center field than it was at second base. Nick Gonzalez had maybe 3 good games, right? Marcano, I didn't do much. Castro had a good stretch there against lefties for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but that was the extent of it. He by far looks the best. That may again be damning him with faint praise, but so far, he is the one. I don't see anybody else, supplanting him at this point.
No.
I'd be shocked if the Pirates made a baseball trade and went out and got a second baseman. Sure, they wouldn't sign a free agent. So,
I mean, the best second base free agent on the market is going to be Adam Frazier. Like that is the framework you're working with, and no one is going to be trading their second baseman, because good second basemen don't really exist like outside like the top 15. So you kind of do need Peguero to be that guy to step up, become that everyday second baseman, essentially, since we traded Castro. All right. Let's talk about the rest of the offense. I guess the next guy we can go to is Ke'Bryan Hayes, and 4 times on base.
Yeah, 2 walks, right? I mean, it's something he doesn't do much.
That's what I'm like. Because like the walking has been awful all season. Like the guy just doesn't walk, and now I'm just like, is he actually being patient, or were the Mets just that bad tonight?
I would put my bet on the Mets were just that bad tonight, but
yeah,
it's a results-driven business. So
yeah, I mean, but another, hitting the ball hard. His 2 hits. I think there are only 2 singles, but I mean, if Ke'Bryan Hayes just keeps hitting the ball the way he's doing, I'm a happy man. And I know Tyler and I talked a lot about him last night. Or have you bought into Ke'Bryan Hayes yet?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Listen, if he has 2 good months to finish the season and then has a consistent season next year, at the end of the season, I'll be say that I'm very hopeful that this is for real. But we've seen flashes from him. We have not seen extended consistency.
No, we haven't.
Right, and not even close. So if he can just these 2 months wouldn't be enough to convince me. If he continues on like he is for this and the rest of the season, I'd say, okay, I feel better than I did at the end of last season, better than I did in June, but I'm not ready to make any proclamations at this point.
Yeah.
Again, all we've asked is for league average hitter. So,
Mm-hmm.
We haven't set the bar very high, but he has not been a consistent hitter, and there's nothing going on here that convinces me that he is at this point. Check back with me at the end of 24.
So you're not intrigued, is what you're saying?
I am intrigued. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, but I've been, what's the, fool me once, shame on you. Yeah. Fool me 743 times. Shame on me.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to go about it. I think I said this yesterday. He's hitting the ball in the air hard. Like if you pull up like his chart of like exit velocity by launch angle, it like peaks at like 5 to 0 to 5, and like as soon as it gets like 10 or something, like it kind of falls off a cliff. But he is doing it again, and it really just depends on how pitchers adjust to him, because they're always going to adjust.
Right. Yeah. It's one of the other teams have scouts and coaches too, right?
Yeah. Anyone else you want to highlight on the offensive side, or should we just talk about the offense as a whole?
I don't think, nobody did anything. I mean, DeLay hit a double, and Ryan Reynolds hit a triple. I mean, that really, beyond that, it was, Connor Joe hit a double. I mean, so
2 walks.
Yeah. I mean, Henry Davis looked pretty bad tonight, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a good, getting on base is a good thing. Getting those walks, but man, it would be nice to get some timely hits.
I think that's the big thing, because like 7 runs really masks this game for me, because I think it was like the 6th inning or something like that, and we had 14 base runners and 1 run scored.
And 1 run, and off a solo shot, right?
Off of a solo shot home run, like which we've been clamoring for. Like, we want the power,
right?
But if you get 14 base runners on, and
through 6 innings,
not score 1 run, more than 1 run in 6 innings, like that is a problem.
Yeah.
Just zero situational awareness tonight. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen like that, like one like video of like the Mario multiplayer, and like everyone just rolls off the edge except Luigi. They kind of just felt like the Pirates offense tonight. Like they didn't do a whole lot except watch the Mets implode in front of them.
Right. It seems like they just didn't get in the way of it. Stop. Right. No, you never felt like the Pirates took this game to the Mets. That they won this game.
Yeah.
They were a benefit of the of what was going on with the Mets, and I mean, great. That's great. But yeah, you don't think, all right, boy, I can hardly wait to see tomorrow, because they looked good offensively tonight. Hopefully they can sustain it, right? I mean, if we do the same thing tomorrow, we could lose 7-1.
Yeah. No, and it's frustrating, because like it was really looking like you're wasting your best start you've seen as from Bailey Falter in a Pirates uniform. Like it's just. I think the perfect encapsulation of the night is just the Jack Suwinski at bat with the bases loaded, where I don't think he saw a single pitch within 5 inches of the strike zone.
Yeah, four straight, just out of the zone. That's right. I mean, anybody would have got walked in that situation. You could have put one of the pitchers up, and they would have drawn the walk there.
Yeah, and like I really feel like you've got to hit more off of a pitcher like David Peterson, who has been atrocious all season.
Right.
Like, and you had the opportunity. The opportunities were all there. Like, you got 3 hits, 6 walks off of him. Like, there's zero reason you don't put 5 runs up on him in 3 innings.
I think they said Budo had a 5.95 ERA at AAA. right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this was not, the nasty boys, mowing us down here. It was,
No.
these guys weren't very good, and we looked terrible, right? I mean, it was like, oh, how are they going to lose? And I was thinking, God, this game's taking forever. I was, well, of course, because every at bat's 12 pitch walk,
Yeah.
or a 12 pitch strikeout, right?
And I guess good for the Pirates for taking like what they're being given, because I feel like we've definitely had something where we do get in our own way. But it doesn't scream confidence from about 90% of this offense.
Yeah. I mean, offensively, it wasn't a good night.
Yeah.
Like I said, they were gifted it, and great, they won. But there's, like I said, there was nothing encouraging about tonight except maybe Brian Hayes and Liover Peguero. That was it.
And you still strike out 13 times,
right? Yeah,
like despite all that.
Yeah, every bad thing they do on a regular basis, they did tonight. Right now, I have to say, I mean, since the trade deadline, we have been scoring more runs. Right? I mean, we're putting up 4, 5, 6 a game, and if you get good pitching outings like you did from Falter tonight, we have a chance to win games when they do that. But again, it was an ugly game. It was just an ugly offensive performance to watch.
All right. Well, I think that's a good transition. Let's talk about our starter today. Let's talk about Bailey Falter. What are our thoughts on Bailey Falter tonight, Doug?
I mean, he did a really, really good job tonight. He was efficient. I mean, again, I don't have any expectations for Falter. He's left-handed and he's healthy in this organization. That makes him a unicorn. So, he's going to have every opportunity. If he pitches like he did tonight, he'll have lots of opportunity to continue to pitch. It's not like there's a real steep competition for those 4th and 5th spots in the rotation. Yeah. I mean, he pitched fine, and it was a pleasant surprise. Lead off a home run. You thought, here we go again.
Yep.
And then they settled right down and had very good 5 1/3 innings.
Yeah, and it was something where he's like, I think tonight was the first day. I could really tell why the Pirates wanted a guy like Bailey Falter. He doesn't throw very hard at all. I think he sits 90, 91 on his fastball. But that extension is so weird.
Yeah.
His extension is so funky that I can 100% see oh, hey, he can fool people. And I think he kept a pretty nice pitch mix going, wasn't terribly dependent on one pitch or the other. It's hard. I would like to see this against a good team. And I think I said the last time, it's not fair to judge him off the Braves start because the Braves are so good.
Right.
But this also isn't a good Mets team.
Yeah, right.
After you get past after you get past Jeff McNeil in the 5th, 6 through 9 is a desert.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, he's throwing about as hard as Rich Hill is.
Right.
Rich Hill gave up a ton of hard contact, no matter how good his starts were. Tonight from Bailey Falter, 2 hard hit balls the entire time. 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. I will take that every day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, from what our expectations of him are and what we got tonight, absolutely. And if he continues to pitch, I mean, he doesn't even have to be as good as he was tonight. If he can just be around that, he's going to cement himself a spot in the rotation for the rest of the season. And, again, he's auditioning right for next year. We have, we desperately need good starting pitching. The opportunity's there for him. I don't know if he's got the talent, and I certainly don't know that we have the coaching to bring out the best in him. So we'll see. It's the sort of the theme of this post-game show and the Pirate season.
I mean, there's
him in October, right?
There's a ton of guys who are going to be fighting for those back end spots. You got Contreras, who I think is completely cooked, but you got Ortiz, you got Brubaker coming back, you got whatever the heck his name is, who also Burrows. Mike Burrows is going to be competing.
Right.
You got Falter there.
Max Kranick.
Yeah, you're going to be going. You're going to be rolling into camp next year with a lot of guys desperate for a rotation spot.
Right.
If I had to guess, I imagine Falter is probably one of the guys that do win that, and then they probably move like a Brubaker into the bullpen. Probably keep Contreras in AAA unless he magically gets like 5 ticks of velocity back.
Yeah, he needs to go to the same wherever Mitch Keller went.
Yeah. Tonight he also started tonight. Was sitting 92 on his fastball. It's not good.
I don't want Paul Skeens to come up and start throwing 92.
He was throwing 95 tonight, so
I know he hit 100 once. So
he hit 100. Yeah, it was an interesting start from Paul Skeens tonight. But we are not on that. All right.
No, I know. Should be.
And then we get
more interesting post game.
And then we get one of the worst first career wins I've ever seen in a Pirates uniform from Colin Selby.
Yeah, I mean, he came in and got the double play, though, right? I mean, that was sort of more important than what happened afterwards. But yeah, he looked awful, and I was wondering what, why Derek Shelton wasn't getting him out of there. But,
well, because if I had to guess, it's just because that rain out on Saturday has just rocked the entire bullpen.
Absolutely.
Because we planned a bullpen day for Saturday. It gets pushed back to Sunday night instead. You use up your entire bullpen on Sunday. You got to get guys rested up, and you would hope that Colin Selby can manage a 6-run lead.
A 6-run lead, right.
And he didn't. 2 home runs, 3 runs. The double play was clutch. We give him that. But 10.80 ERA from Colin Selby so far. He doesn't look good.
No, he doesn't. no, he doesn't. And he does. I mean, I think there's stuff there. I really don't understand what's going on with the most of our pitching staff. Like, we'd all sort of come around on Oscar Marine, and I think that ship has sailed again. And man, I mean, not only does it seem that he's helping pitchers, but they're all regressing. Everybody is taking steps backwards, and it's just. And again, when the most important person, it seems, in the organization now is Paul Skeens, it's like, please don't let him get rid of that guy.
Well, at the very least, I would say that after Selby, you come in with 3 guys who I say have been pretty good all season. I was so against the Angel Perdomo call-up. I'm like, this guy can't throw strikes. He barely has any velocity, but man, he's been a rock.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Yeah, and again, he's a lefty. He's healthy.
Crazy extension,
right? And he's hard to hit. He doesn't give up a lot of hits now.
His delivery, he's so tall, and his delivery is so weird that like he is able to fool people into thinking his 94-mile-an-hour fastball is like really 98.
Yeah.
And he's kept the walks down. And he only threw 6 pitches tonight. Can't. But color me impressed.
Yeah, I mean, he's carved out a spot in this bullpen, I would say, right? I mean,
yeah, you want a real good nugget for Perdomo. His pitches are similar to Spencer Strider this year.
Well, I saw Spencer Strider just last week. He didn't look very good. So
that's true.
I mean, he got roughed up by this offensive juggernaut. But no, that's impressive, right? I mean, he has looked good, right? He hasn't just, it's not just intriguing. It's been actually good.
Yeah.
Bullpen arms are so just, I mean, next year he could revert right back to a guy who just, walks the bases loaded and looks terrible all the time. But he has been very effective for this team. I'm glad when I see him coming into a game. He's one of the guys I actually sort of believe will get the job done.
Yeah.
And, hopefully he can continue to build on that, because it'd be nice to have this kind of effective lefty that you can bring in 7th, 8th innings.
As I think at one point this year, the only left-handed guy we had on the 40-man was Jose Hernandez.
Right.
So even just having like a solid lefty bullpen guy in Perdomo is so big. And those type of waiver claims are how you build your bullpen. And it's something that Ben has really struggled with for 4 years.
Yeah.
But when you get guys in like Perdomo and they hit, that's pretty big.
Right. Yeah, I've always said that he just needs to hire Neil Huntington to be the bullpen general manager. He won't have to give him much of a budget. Huntington found them all the time, and just had it right. You could see you had this year's closer pitching in the 8th. You had next year's closer pitching in the 7th. You had the following year's closer. I mean, it's like it's fine. It's okay. Bye Jason Grilli. Hello Mark Melanson. Bye Melanson. Hello Watson. That sort of thing. It would be nice.
We're not going to name who we actually went to. But yeah.
It'd be nice if Holderman,
the human heart attack.
Yeah. He's been a little scary, but it looks like he's finding his stride a little.
Yeah, I think my biggest qualm with Holderman is that he just gives up way too much hard contact. But overall, he has been a pretty darn good reliever this year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been as dominant as you would want an 8th inning guy to be in a contending team
that hits 100 miles an hour.
Even though he hits 100, I would say that I think I'd like him in the 7th inning role. But there's a future here. He's pre-arb. He hits 100 miles an hour. Like, there is a lot to like about Colin Holderman. I still think, he's way too susceptible to a blow up, though. And I think that's just the nature of how hard of contact he gives up.
Yeah, you're probably right. It would be better. And we have, there's a couple guys there that look like they could maybe become an 8th inning. I mean, Perdomo might be more effective.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Hernandez could possibly do something.
Majinski until he destroyed his arm.
Right. And I don't know. Is Harleen Garcia is he ever going to pick up a baseball? Right?
Has he progressed past being able to grab a baseball yet?
Yeah, they don't mention him much anymore.
Yeah. Colin Holderman was good tonight. 2 strikeouts, 11 pitches. He was actually pretty dominant. In a group chat with some Mets fans, and they were kind of lamenting the Holderman trade. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And finally, David Bednar, he, dare I say, is back.
Yeah, it looks like it. He made us real nervous there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably just overuse. And you can't even really get mad at the overuse because he is our most dominant pitcher. He wants the ball, and we don't win a lot of games. When we have a chance to win, we need to call on David Bednar. So, but yeah, he had a stretch there where I think he pitched 4 out of 5 days, and on the 5th day he was warming up. So, or the one day he didn't pitch, he had gotten it up and got hot. So, we had a couple rough outings after that, and it looks like he's had a couple of days off and he's back in fine form.
Yeah, his wasn't as good, I think, as his performance on Sunday, but you never really felt any danger even after the one hit. It helped that there was a 3-run cushion, but the Mets did not look particularly competitive against Bednar tonight, and that's what you want to see.
Right, exactly. He looked in command. So someone gets a hit, big deal. He wasn't going anywhere. You didn't feel, you weren't on the edge of your seat there.
No, and I've been on the edge of my seat about Holderman recently. So we take that. All right. Well, the Pirates win 7-4. We are 54-66. The Cardinals are probably going to win, so they're also going to be 54-66.
Opportunity to take the series tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow We have Oviedo going against Tyler McGill at 110. If there's anyone you want on the mound, probably it's Oviedo.
Yeah, good Oviedo. Right.
Yeah.
If it's good Oviedo, we're in good shape.
Well, I'm not going to be in person like I was for the last one, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Jolly Roger Report has mentioned, that he thinks I have the best winning percentage of postgames. I think this is my fifth win in a row. So I won't be able to jump on tomorrow, but I have confidence. Are you on tomorrow with? No, I think it's Donardo and Kenny or Cody.
If Donardo can't, I will try my best to be on, but I can't make any promises. I have work until 3, so we will try. But yeah, I think specifically the Doug Neil post game duo is probably the highest win percentage.
Yeah, we've been on a good roll. Yeah, we've been discussing wins. So
as we complain during about 90% of those wins, but
right, even during the win, we're the life of a Pirate fan. It's like, how did we win that?
Well, we were gonna get out of here. I need to go to bed. I'm tired. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
Jim.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.